What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Real Red Talk. My name is Sam, and joined by Shreyas. And big breaking news: the meeting has concluded with Ineos in London. Decisions over Erik Ten Hag's future could be imminent at any point during tonight. Could happen during the show. Journalists has reported that apparently Sir Jim wants Ten Hag gone, and it could reportedly be on the cards. There's a couple other things on like squad rotation as well. We're gonna get Shreyas' thoughts on that. First of all, Shreyas, how are we? Are we good? Are we feeling all right?
Yeah, doing fairly well. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I wasn't prepared to host this today, as you know. So it's yeah, doing things on the fly, but it's all good. We're
Yeah.
all good. But yeah, the first sort we'll go with this sort of breaking news bit. Obviously this morning in Knightsbridge in London, I believe at Ineos's headquarters, Ineos and Manchester United had a board meeting to discuss other things, among them being, I think, the stadium redevelopment, the ongoing issues with the refinancing in FFP, and of course, the future of Erik Ten Hag. So this morning we said we got from the Athletics, Sir Jim is believed to have had the decisive say on Ten Hag's position, with Barada and Ashworth making recommendations. The decisive meeting on the future of Erik Ten Hag is to start early this morning. That was like about sort of 9:30 this morning. I believed everybody arrived. Didn't really hear anything about it at all until about an hour ago. Laurie Whitwell, Exco, meeting over Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford leave Ineos headquarters in the same car. Jean-Claude Blanc exited out the front where the crowd had gathered. Executives, including Alma Barada and Dan Ashford, entered about 9:30 this morning. The meeting between Manchester United hierarchy started just after 10 a.m. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford left through the back. And then a further update just recently from Sky Sports. We'll be interested to see later this evening, perhaps in the next few hours, if Manchester United release any kind of official statement. Normally, they would not after a committee meeting unless a major decision was taken. Shreyas, with all that involved, do you expect anything tonight? Do you think a decision has been
No,
made? Do you think even they were discussing Erik Ten Hag's future?
I think the decision might be made. It is a possibility that the decision might be made, but I don't think that they'll go public with it until and unless they have their recovery plan in place. Like I think with the way Ineos are working, I think the whatever the decision is, whether he's going, whether he's staying, I think they'll only come out with it once they're 100% sure. Like if he's going, they'll be coming out with it when they know who's going to be the next guy who is going to be coming in, whether it's going to be an interim, whether it's going to be someone completely fresh and new. Maybe that's a particular way they'll be looking at it. And if Ten Hag is staying, I think they'll try and delay it a bit, just so that the rumors can die out about him leaving and they can be in a much better place to process this. But by the looks of it right now, it doesn't look good for Ten Hag.
No. Yeah, I suppose no news is good news sometimes, isn't it? If there's nothing's been said, then it's good news. But I think the silence is quite deafening. Um,
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see. Obviously, with this normal, as Sky Sports said, this normal sort of committee meeting happens. They don't normally come out with a statement. They don't normally say anything. It's normally sort of business as usual. But with the Ten Hag thing on the cards, it does make it a bit more interesting. And Ineos have been about fan engagement and speaking to the fans, haven't they? They've been about sort of talking to the fans and keeping
yeah.
them up to date and stuff like that. If you think a decision has been made, what would you expect the sort of timeline to be? Where would you think they might announce it? At some point during the international break? Or do you think they'll just carry on business
I
as
think
usual?
they'll. I think they'll wait the week. I think they'll take the week. I think they'll try and because look, even if Ten Hag is going, I think they'll be very careful with actually announcing this because whoever is going to be the next guy, that comes in through the door will be Ineos's first choice, their first ever manager in this era. So they need to be very careful and they need to be very cautious while actually, making that sort of an announcement. So I think they'll take their time. By the looks of it, like you mentioned as well, Ten Hag might be on his way out, but whoever is going to be the next guy coming in, I think Ineos will be very, they'll take as many precautions as they can before they actually, announce the name, whoever is going to be coming in. And since things aren't really leaking as much, everything is being kept under wraps, I think they'll take the week, at least till next week. I think they'll try and keep every single media outlet in the dark. And when they're completely 100% sure about, how they're going to be moving forward, after this international break with with the start of the season. Uh, I think that is probably the timeline, the best timeline when they'll come out with it.
Yeah, keep your comments coming in as well. I can see everybody in the chat there, so please do keep your comments. I'll read them out shortly. Jamie Jackson from The Guardian, I think it was late last night these quotes came out. I believe it'll be for this morning's paper in The Guardian. Erik Ten Hag's future will be decided at the Executive Summit by Sir Jim Ratcliffe on Tuesday, which has obviously just happened today. There's no indication on Monday that Ten Hag was to be sacked. Ruud van Nistelrooy is favoured as a potential caretaker, which we all heard. Brentford manager Thomas Frank is also permanent among the potential permanent successors to Ten Hag. And then on United View, obviously, if you follow this channel, I imagine you follow a couple of other fan channels, United View, Paddock, that kind of stuff. Jamie Jackson was on there with Flex, and this is quite a sort of interesting quote. He said, "I get the feeling he, i.e. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, wants him, Erik Ten Hag, to go." What are your thoughts on that comment? Is that an interesting comment?
Yeah, it is pretty interesting because look, when pretty much the owner, the person who is pretty much in charge, who heads everything, every single person needs to be reporting to that person. If he is coming out and saying that he doesn't really want Ten Hag and enough is enough, I think that was the quote that actually came out. It just shows that the owner has actually lost confidence in the manager. When the owner is coming out and saying that he doesn't want a particular manager to continue at the club, especially after the kind of transfer window we've had, especially after the kind of backing Ten Hag has actually received as well throughout this whole, I would say, couple of months spell, it's been very disappointing. It has been very disappointing from a fan's perspective, but from an owner's perspective as well, I think it might actually be even more frustrating, because you're providing someone with the best possible tools that you can provide them with. You've reinforced the back line. You've tried and reinforced the attacking line and midfield line as much you possibly could, while maintaining your FFP and PSR regulations as well. And then with the kind of performances we've had on the pitch, with the way the manager has been acting on the pitch as well, with the kind of different and very weird calls that have been made on the pitch regarding substitutions as well, it does raise a lot of eyebrows. But yeah, I just don't. You remember when Ineos initially came in, and this whole cycle was still going on at that moment in time as well, that will Ten Hag be staying or will Ten Hag be let go of and someone new will come in through the door? At least there were certain positives at that time, which showed that Ineos do want to continue with Ten Hag. They understand the injury record and everything else that has been going on at the club. Right now, I really cannot see any positives from any outlook, and all the signs right now lead to Ten Hag actually leaving the club.
Yeah, it's again. I think you can read a lot into this. Obviously, Jamie Jackson's got quite a sort of reputable standing in terms of like United news and stuff like that. But then again, I look at the sort of like thing of these board meetings normally don't come with a statement, so it'd be interesting to see is it the case that, or is it the case of you, like you said, we will get a statement at some point due to this. I can't imagine, like in my head, I don't know how these work because I've never been in a massive board meeting at a massive club. So God, I could be talking shit for all I know. I can't imagine they haven't talked about it. Like they must have spoke about it. Like if you're at work and somebody's underperforming and you're in a meeting, you're gonna discuss it, are you? Like you're going to.
I think they must have. I think before the season actually started, I think a conversation must have taken place, because I think any top club would actually go into a season with that contingency plan in place, that if it doesn't work out, if there is a situation where players are underperforming, manager is underperforming, and we can't really see a way out, someone else needs to be brought in. I think they surely must have a plan. And considering the track record that Ten Hag had last season, I think Ineos must have their concerns. People say that maybe that's the reason Ruud was brought in the first place, that in case things go wrong, he can step in and do a job as an interim. But with the way this Ineos model actually has been projected by them itself, I don't think they'll be going in with an interim.
Right,
so
Nick, just one second, Shreyas. Nick has joined us. I'm going to see.
Yeah.
Right, there's
Surprise!
2 of me. So let me reframe just so I can get all 3 of us
Sure.
on. Jesus Christ.
I am so sorry. That is so unprofessional. I didn't realise the time, man. I thought on the way back then, I was like, oh, I'm
Shreyas.
just walking in my own world.
Shreyas, can you read some comments out for me? That would be helpful.
Oh, sure. Richard in the chat saying, hi, hello, Richard. Jali Mamin in the chat saying, wondering what type of ambitions Ineos have really got. Surprised that they are letting Ten Hag stay. We are really becoming the worst soap opera on TV. Yes, they wouldn't want to announce Gareth Southgate that quickly.
Oh my God, please
Frank-
no.
Frank wouldn't really be my first choice, but wouldn't disapprove of the appointment. Okay, if Sir Jim wants him gone, just do it rather than his stupid comments last week. I'm still ETHN, but Sir Jim is as indecisive as Rashford on the wing.
Wow. Damn it. Yeah, well, I'm sorting this out, Nick. This is chaos now.
Can I?
Puts me in.
No, don't worry. You do your sort of thing, man. You don't need to worry about
give
that.
us
Let
your
me-
thoughts. You've read all the news. Just you give us your thoughts on it, because me and Shreyas have sort of spoke on it.
So I'm going to do it in Sky Cavi kind of fashion. And basically what he's just done now is outside the meeting where it all like taken place. And he's just basically relayed the same information that everyone already knows. So it's like, Ineos are in charge of Manchester United. They had a meeting today. Finished around 11 o'clock, and then they left. And you kind of sat there watching it like, how on earth is this a fucking update? But the feeling, and this is like the kind of small bit that's coming out of it, I don't know if you guys have heard, is that it's looking like he might end up staying on. That's the underworld feeling at the minute. So take that for what it's worth.
We were discussing the Jamie Jackson appearance on United View. Where he was saying basically he gets the feeling that Sir Jim wants him gone. And that's where we sort of got up to. And then, we sort of discussed there we go. Everybody's on the screen at the same time. Fucking hell.
Mhm.
Apologies, everybody in the chat, if you just see me move shit around and trying to organize stuff. But yeah, that is what happened.
Fine,
But,
man.
yeah, we spoke about that. We spoke about the Jamie Jackson thing as well. What's your thoughts on the Jamie Jackson quote, Nick? Like, what do you read into that?
I think he's maybe got a bit of a hunch on. Maybe he's spoken to someone at the club and they said, I think the reason why a lot of people are going with that he might be going is because they're looking at, I think Ineos looking at this as a case of if they miss out on Champions League football, they're going to miss out on a lot of fucking money. So it's going to be like 50 to 100 million pounds that they're going to lose out on. I think that's in the kind of the back of the minds of a lot of the hierarchy that are making a decision on this. So I think they're just kind of dictating logic and saying, look, it seems like Ratcliffe doesn't want him. Ratcliffe ultimately is the guy who's going to make the decision, although he says he isn't. I think that seems like the way it's going. That's the way the tide's going, at least. And we've said that even pre-Villa game, even before the draw or what have you. So that's the way the tide seems going. But they might stay thick. They might not thick, but like thick-skinned, should I say? And they might just ride it out until December and just say, look, let's just see if it can turn around, and then they'll know for sure by the next international break it's not improved still. So now it's definitely time to pull. I think they should anyway, but yeah.
What's your vibe? Like, are we going to hear something like this international break, or do you think when we come, we've got Brentford when we come back? We think when we've got Brentford, he's in the dugout. If
we do, I'm going to do the same thing as what Sky Cavi does, and just basically tell you the same thing that you already heard, because that's what everyone's doing at the moment. Yeah. So my gut feeling right now is that he stays, and I think we said it the other day, Sam, when he was on the show. We said it was just a feeling that he might just kind of cling on by the skin of his teeth. I think one thing for sure, if he would have got absolutely smashed by Villa on Sunday, I think it wouldn't even be a meeting.
Yeah.
If
he would have lost
it wouldn't even be a discussion.
Yeah. Well, we were saying, so, me and Shreyas were saying, like, they can't have not discussed him. Like, I know they were discussing other things like the stadium, FFP, all that sort of other stuff, but they kind of not discussed him. Like, you can't go into a work environment, and if an employee is severely underperforming, you're going to talk about it. So it was definitely a discussion point. It's just whether a decision was made or not is kind of like what we're trying to sort of figure out, I think.
Right. Yeah. Can I just add to that as well? I think the staff are not going to let the media know first either,
No.
are they? They're not going to go out to Sky Sports. We've sacked him, just to let you know. They'll tell Ten Hag first and the staff around, and then it'll be released. So you don't know. There could be a little bit of a delay in it. But yeah, I just wanted to add that on.
We said that as well. We said, like, if players were involved in this meeting, I guarantee there'd be leaks all over the place and we'd already know what the fuck was going on. But because Ineos seem to be able to put in their, like, they seem to be quite leak proof, I would say. Like, not a lot of stuff gets out unless players are involved, which is tend to be when stuff gets leaked, which sort of brings me on to the next story. Manchester United have erected a £200,000 wall around Carrington Training Centre, which is interesting. Apparently,
you spent £200,000 on a wall.
Yeah, a white wall had been erected at Carrington to give Ten Hag and his players the privacy and protection they had on the old first team training pitch, which is current undergoing a redevelopment. Carrington's undergoing a redevelopment. Is that a bit weird, Nick? Is that a bit weird?
I don't know. It feels like. Do you remember the rumours that went about? Was it about Bielsa?
Yes.
Who it was spying on
other teams? Didn't he have a drone or something like that? He flew
something
a drone
like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like bizarre, innit? I don't know if there's anything to do with that, but yeah, it's a strange one. Like, what are you doing? Are you just stopping from other people watching? Like, to be fair, let's be honest, we don't need a fucking wall.
No, we don't. We see it.
You can see it on the pitch. Yeah, everyone can see it on the pitch. You don't need to cover up these tactics. People can see it on the pitch. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a privacy thing, bit of a secrecy. God knows. It's strange decision. But United are full of strange decisions, aren't we?
Shreyas, thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I understand, like, secrecy of tactics and secrecy of, like, selection and stuff like that. And we're gonna get onto that story about rotation shortly. What do you make of that? Like, because like Nick said, it's obvious what the tactics are on the pitch. I don't know what he's trying to hide because we know what's going to happen.
What tactics? First of all, what tactics? Because no matter what we do, we end. Every single team knows how to, actually counter us whenever we are playing. And it doesn't matter who the opposition is, whether it's a team like Villa, whether it's a team like Porto or an FC 20. I really don't know. Maybe it's, got to do with something else. But if it comes to, hiding your tactics or hiding the way you want to play or trying to,
I'll tell you one thing, Shreyas. It'd be nice if we could use it in front of our fucking defence. So we wouldn't leak as many goals.
Okay, can you put it?
There's the final use for it.
Can you put it in front of the TV cameras when I watch it? I have to witness the fucking thing every single week. Can we do that?
Cover the game up.
Yeah,
I don't COVID times, innit?
I don't want to watch the game anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna read just a couple of comments from the chat. Richard Hawkins, I think Sir Jim always wanted him to go even after the FA Cup final. I think he was persuaded by others to let him stay. Interesting. I think one big factor is he cost 17.5 million to let him go. I have no idea how close to FFP we are. I think that was one of the things David Ornstein sort of put the kibosh on, wasn't it? It was like they could afford to sack him. It's not like FFP is fine. So I think that was one of the things. So I think we're okay there. All I have to say is 30-year-old Lindelof at the back. I'm guessing that's Lindelof. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Nick. Better late than never. Yeah. As everybody's excited that Nick is here.
Who's that?
That was a Phil named Huggy.
Oh, hello, Phil named Huggy. Okay.
David Jones apparently is staying, according to Sky Sports. I mean, we've just read out the Sky Cavi thing, and he didn't say fuck all.
I can do it again.
Yeah,
if you want me
said
to.
Nothing. Nothing. Whatever we say, we're 14th in the league. He's playing Tetris with your faces. I was moving about and stuff. We all agree with Erik Ten Hag out the results. I'm 14th in the Premier League. Shake my head. Mates, we are 7 games in and 8 points with a full team. That is a sackable offence. Sedition and mutilate. That is the most disinformation video headline ever. Well, if you don't like it, Sedition, kindly click the cross and piss off because it's a real quote from a journalist at The Guardian. So I don't understand what disinformation you're talking about. Oh, God, he's got the glasses on.
Sky Cavi's coming out of him, man. If there's another headline that breaks.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it will be business as usual, sadly, Mike Fergus. They put up a 200k wall so the press can't see the Amstrad computers. Question, why do we think Rude can make a difference if they sack him? Like, why is he not making a difference now? Any of you lads want to jump on that?
It's like, who put that?
Camario Fox.
Mario Fox, thank you very much, because I've been saying this for the past couple of days. This this man right now is a part of the current coaching setup. The way we play, our attacking phases, our defensive phases. He's a part of this. Ultimately, the manager does get the say, and I will admit that he has the full say on overarching things, everything that goes on. But he's a part of this coaching setup, and also the amount of times we discussed on this channel as well. He plays a similar style to Ten Hag, direct transitional football. So it's going to be more of the same. I think you will get initially a manager bounce, but then after that, it's going to be probably chaos again. So it's not always, people always think it's going to be better on the other side. I don't know. I won't be so sure about that.
Yeah.
Shreyas is also extremely stubborn, which is another thing Ten Hag is known for, isn't it?
Look, one of the main reasons why he was actually brought in is because his style is actually very, very, very similar to the style Ten Hag wants to play with this team. And I've seen a few of his games at PSV. And the way his midfield works, the way he wants his fullbacks actually to play, I could see like a 95% similar version of what Ten Hag wants to play with Manchester United, with that PSV Eindhoven team. So if people think that if Root takes over, we'll be seeing a completely different style of play, we'll be seeing something, a different formation, or we'll be seeing players playing in a different, just in a different mindset, it won't really happen. Even if Root comes in, it's going to be a similar style of football. It is still going to be that overloading in the fullback area, the same way that Ten Hag wants to press. It's the same way that Root wants to press his opponents as well. So maybe you get a manager bounce. Maybe the atmosphere around the club changes a bit. It becomes a bit positive. But apart from that, I really don't see, like from a bigger picture perspective, it wouldn't really change that much.
Yeah, I've just seen Laura Whitwell was like posted this video, and then United People's TV has just replied to it. Guy have Cavi standing out in the rain hoping something happens. ITV News were there this morning before anyone arrived. Videos through underpasses see execs getting in the car or having snuck out to the back door. Peak United. Fucking hell.
What is that? I wouldn't advise people to do this, but if you catch it on Sky Sports, just go watch him outside with that umbrella and what he says. It is honestly, it's like just reading what's happening in front of the. It's so bad. I don't get how they get away with it.
It's the most non-committal journalism I've ever seen in my life. Like, he's not leaning to any commitment anywhere. Like, he's not saying any decision because just in case he gets caught out that he's wrong. But he's just like, for fuck's sake, man, come on.
And there's like we've got an exclusive interview with the Duchess of something, I think it was. I don't know if I've done a good job. And then it like cuts to the interview. He's like, "Do you like football? And do you support United?" He's like, "I support football." And he goes, "Thanks." And then it goes back to him. I'm just like, this is the worst fucking media ever.
Terrible.
What on earth?
Terrible. But yeah, speaking of absolutely puzzling and confusing things, Erik Ten Hag's rotation policy is puzzling some of Manchester United's players. Many of them would prefer to keep playing and find their rhythm during a difficult start to season, particularly after defeats when players want to get back on the pitch. Nick, what are we thinking of this story? Obviously, Ten Hag has made some weird decisions tactically in terms of selections. He's then made some further weird decisions in terms of substitutions on the pitch. Is that what's upsetting the rhythm here? Like, obviously the tactics are a big factor. Is that upsetting things here as well?
The information I'm receiving yeah, I think we've been saying it for a long time, to be fair. I think if we're confused and puzzled, and even like your tacticians, so like Carl Anker, really good. Yep. H, who's on the overlap as well, fantastic. If they can't analyse it and they can't take in what's happening or what Ten Hag's trying to do, you really are muddled up and confused. So as fans, if we're sat here being frustrated and annoyed and not understanding what he's trying to do, then you can only put two and two together and think, oh, the players feel the exact same. The players are feeling like, why are we going out on this pitch? Especially someone like Casemiro, for example, who's had his flare-ups, hasn't he, like before the FA Cup final and stuff. He's probably watching a game like Liverpool, for example, and he's like, right, we want to be this transitional team, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have the centre-back split here. Casemiro, you're going to drop to receive the ball. And then basically the rest of the team are going to be right on the edge of the 18-yard box. And it's just going to be this giant gap. So if we do lose the ball and get a turnover, there's going to be 1v1s across the pitch and we're probably going to get slapped. So looking at that, when you're going out as a player, the amount of pressure you're under when you've had so many results that have gone against you, when it's been 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, it's got to get to you on it. You've got to be like confused, pissed off. Why does he keep trying this when we're losing games? Why is he not pivoted yet? I think they share the same emotion as fans. I really do.
I think I think there's another thing is as well, Shreyas, and you can sort of put your spin on this. There's so many things or decisions he's making where you're like, I don't understand what's happening there. Like, for example, continuation to play players who are in bad form and not drop them. That was something that was last season. It's something that continued this season with Bruno. Then pulling players out who are in good form, like Rashford was in a good goal scoring form, and he pulled him off in Crystal Palace. And then the centre back thing, which is like, okay, it worked out quite well because Johnny Evans had a really good game, and I think Aaron Maguire had a decent game. And then obviously because De Ligt and
Martinez.
Martinez had a terrible game against Porto. He switched them out, but then he's like, you don't switch Dallo out, who also had a terrible game. But then, so it's just, there's a lot of things where he's just like, I don't understand what's going on here. And is he doing stuff for the sake of trying to get a reaction? Or do you think he's just genuinely now drowning, like, in the sort of the quagmire that he's in at the minute?
I think it's a big gamble if you want a reaction, especially against a team like Villa, and you go in with a centre-back partnership of Evans and Maguire. And I think it was Berbatov who came out after the game and said that if Johnny Evans at the age of 36 to 37 is your best player on the pitch against a team like Villa, who play very good football, then you've got some serious issues in your team. And I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know what sort of reaction he even wants from the team, because throughout the course of last season, Rashford wasn't playing well at all. His confidence was not there on the pitch, and you could see it in his body language as well, that he's not able to perform like the Rashford we know. And he still picked him every single game. Sometimes he played him as a striker, as a left winger, as a right winger. He played him in every single position he possibly could. And this season, the moment he's, gotten into some goal scoring form, he looks more confident. He's once again looking like the Rashford who likes to, take defenders on and make runs at them. His confidence is slowly growing up as well. And then he decides to, sub him off or bench him for, and try and rotate him with Garnacho when there is no need to actually rotate him with Garnacho when he's in a good vein of form. So I think that is something which is really questionable. And apart from that, our bench against Villa, I think it was worth around 480 or 500 million when it came to the players that we had on the bench.
And most of them were signings he's made as well.
Exactly. And then you actually start to question why he actually has got these players in when he can't make use of them, especially in the big games, the games where you want these players to step up, the games where you want to, go head to head against the top teams in the Premier League. He's still reverting back to type and picking players like Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans to start in these sort of games. If it was a game against, a Europa League side, a weak team, and you go ahead with Evans and Maguire, you can still understand it. But going up against a team like Villa and picking that sort of a partnership, I think it's a very big gamble and a very risky gamble, which in a way paid off, that we didn't concede a goal and got a draw. But overall, I'm really not impressed with the kind of model that he's coming up with.
I think we were lucky that Villa were poor in that game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think had they stepped up or had anything about them, it probably could have been a slapping, if not for Johnny Evans. But speaking of Villa, I've just seen a story. I don't know why I didn't put it on my list of stuff, but it's from the Mail Sport. Manchester United rejected signing Ollie Watkins in the summer of 2023, with Erik Ten Hag demanding the club sign Rasmus Højlund instead. Nick, what do you think?
We would have made him shit anyway, let's be honest. Even if he would have come to United, he would have turned out to be dog shit. So it's probably best for his career that he stayed at Aston Villa. You have to look to Jude Bellingham and others to kind of prove that. So, yeah, even if it was true, I'm sure we were linked with him. We were linked with fucking plenty of players. But, can I just add as well, just before we get to the thing? United news today, it just seems something that made me laugh. Is actually bigger than everything that's going on with City in the Premier League. And I think there's just been some news as well that Tiki is Bergestan.
Yeah, he's leaving.
Is stepping down.
Yeah.
Stepping down from City. So, yeah, look, anything about United will always be the biggest story, won't it? I mean, it's like we said jokingly over the weekend, even the games with England, this will be more media coverage than the England games. That's how mega United are still.
Loved, adored, never ignored. It's always the same, innit? It's just... We're that sort of club.
Hated, adored, ignored.
Right, let me just read a couple more comments. If you've got any questions, by the way, for the last 4 minutes, please do get them in the chat. We'll try and answer them. Where did we get to? There we go. I'm pissed off with the players. They're playing in a way as though they've never trained together. No passion, no click. Yeah, I agree. Please hit the like, subscribe from Richard. Absolutely. If you're new here, there's 43 people in the chat. Please do like, subscribe channel if you're brand new. If you like what you see, there was a guy who left a comment before and said, "What a shit channel." So I just was like, hide message. See you in a bit, mate. So enjoy.
No, what a shit channel that I've just clicked on.
And I've left a comment in the chat helping the engagement.
What a dickhead.
Says it all with Johnny Evans' man of the match. The puzzle gets weirded. Delits and Martinez deserve to be dropped. I agree. Maybe the issue was he's too clever for his own good, can't translate his tactics to his players. I mean, that's the whole job as a manager, is to your ability to transfer what you've got in your head and what you want to play to your players. That's your whole job. So.
Charisma and communication is mega important with managers.
There we are. It doesn't help that we don't have any defensive left wingers. I mean, Rashford tries sometimes, but then your other option is like what? Garnacho, again, who's not equally defensive either. So we have to play with what we've got.
We've got, but he's very shit attacking wise.
Yeah. I'm drying my sorrows with grapes, big green grapes, very yummy. That's from Charlie Malman. Fair enough. Whatever makes you happy, mate. Is there anything else you wanted to cover, Nick, on this that I haven't sort of touched on?
Yeah, so the information I'm receiving, Sam, is no, I don't think so. I think everyone's just waiting for the same thing, and we put the GIF out before, didn't we? That we're quite literally just waiting for the news. Whether it'll get announced today or not, I mean, I thought it would get announced earlier today. They've just had like a 7-hour meeting, so I'm sure they'll communicate it through the correct people. I'm sure some of the top kind of journalists around United, your Laurie Whitwells and these kind of guys, I'm sure they'll have some form of a briefing, and your Ornstein's probably tonight.
Yeah.
It'll be an awkward time as well, as it always is. I'll be
in the shower or something and just get a fucking drop like for
or just after we end this video.
Yeah.
That's where we was when Ten Hag got announced that he was staying. I was in the bath, wasn't I? And I don't know, he was doing like yoga or something. I can't remember. Yeah, and we was like, right, all right, well, I guess we're going live then. So, I would encourage people to turn on the notification bell, just so if we do go live, it'll just drop down on your phone or whatever, and you could just tap on it. Apart from the guy who called the channel shit, you can fuck off. Don't tune in.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow the socials as well, because we will put like a link on the stories or on the Twitter, so you can just then click straight on it. So do follow the socials as well. Huggy B has put England prediction. Nick, do you care? I don't really.
I don't know who they're playing.
Greece.
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
Greece.
Greece. Honestly, I couldn't give a fuck. Really couldn't give a fuck.
My lights just died as well.
Yeah, you didn't care either. Just
no.
somehow.
Shreyas, do you give a shit about England? Do you care? No. Sorry. Phil Naylor said Greece and Finland. Oh, those exciting barn burner of a games. That is gonna be fucking.
That last tournament killed me. To be honest, it's Mainoo's dropped out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Maguire's injured, so there's not even any United players there either. So no point of interest whatsoever.
Do you reckon Luke Shaw would be like, I'm available?
Oh my god, imagine. Yeah, I could probably try it. Probably give it a go. Get to fuck Luke. You bloody bastard.
Charlie Malman, will they let Erik Ten Hag come back from holiday before they fire him? I mean,
he was in Ibiza last time.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
They flew out, didn't they? They flew out to tell him. So
yeah. And there was a picture of him like smiling, and everyone's like, "He's staying. He's staying."
Yeah, that's
hopefully not.
We'll call it there. We'll finish there. We're right on 40 minutes. But yeah, thank you for everybody for joining us in the chat. Appreciate all the comments, questions, and likes and stuff. Like Nick said, please do keep the subscribe to the channel and keep the notification bell on, because if it does happen tonight, we will go live straight when it happens. Follow all the socials, all that good stuff. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I'm calling it Twitter. I know it's called X, but I'm never going to change it. It's fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
No, it don't feel right, does it?
No. But yeah, thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you all to the regulars as well. Charlie, Richard, all of you guys. We appreciate you. And yeah, let's call it for the night. Hopefully, maybe it'll happen straight after I click stop streaming. I'm going to get a little tweet. I can fucking see it.
Sky Caviar will be here, and I'll be covering it, so don't you worry about it.
But yeah. Peace out, everybody.